Out for a morning walk. Let's see what it's like up here on the bridge. Did you see the Dolphins? Wow, that was some incredible video footage I took this morning. Went down to the waterfront office, was on my way there actually, and took the drone, as you saw, to get some footage, and decided to stop off the bridge that goes over to Fort Myers Beach and walk up and try to get some. I was going to try to get some time lapse of the sunrise and the boats and the everything, but really not any activity to speak of. So my time lapse ended up just being like the little ripples in the water. And while I'm up there videoing, I happened to look down, and you saw the dolphins that were swimming right below me, and looking down on them. And watching that was just incredible. Yes, I've seen dolphins before. I've seen them out in the ocean. I've seen them up close at the Dolphin Rescue Center down in the Florida Keys last November when we were on vacation. But to see a couple dolphins swimming like that and coming up and blowing the water out of their blowholes or air holes, whatever they're called, and just getting to experience that was just phenomenal. What's funny about that? I actually had another topic I was going to talk about. I'm going to save that probably for tomorrow after this experience. But after seeing that, I was thinking, I was like, people who grew up here, that's normal for them to just see dolphins swimming, and people who live on water inland, that's common for them to see the manatees come in every winter to keep warm. All these things that we've not been exposed to as a part of everyday life. And it's easy to forget when you live somewhere that things like this happen in other places that you don't get to see. We went to Australia 3 years ago, and there were just white cockatoos everywhere. And it was just amazing. They were on our hotel balcony. Here's a picture of some of them. And you see these things that are just part of everyday normal life for these folks, that is just incredible to those of us who didn't grow up around it. Growing up in West Virginia and then spending the last 10, 11 years in Kentucky, you see deer, you see an occasional bear. Some people might see a bobcat in their lifetime if they spend time out around the woods, or if you have livestock or chickens, something like that. But nothing like this. It's just right there in front of you. And it made me think about kind of how we often take things for granted that are around us, where we live and what we do and what we grow up around. Growing up in Charleston, West Virginia, it's about a 3.5 hour drive to Cincinnati if you don't stop much or don't stop at all. And back in my 20s, me and my buddy Kenny and I used to go up and see Reds games a few times a year. We'd drive up 3.5 hours, literally watch a 2.5, 3 hour baseball game, and drive home. 10, 12 hour a day, or sometimes longer if we decided to stop at a restaurant and eat a sit down meal or something. But we used to do that all the time. But typically a lot of people, and I know I'm this way, don't tend to do things where you're at. I moved to Louisville. I'm only a little bit over an hour away from Cincinnati. I've only been to a few Reds games since I've lived there in 10 years. I've been working, I've been traveling. There's a lot of different reasons for that. But really kind of I think took for granted that I lived so close to Cincinnati and didn't go to the games more. Didn't even go. I've only been to a couple of Louisville Bats games, the AAA team for the Reds, and I kind of regretted that because a few years ago when Aroldis Chapman was called up to the Reds, he was just blowing batters away with. I mean, I've never seen anybody pitch like this guy did. He had the fastest recorded pitch ever. I was watching it on TV. I think it was against San Diego, and I think it was 105.9 miles an hour, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to go look that up to be sure, but just phenomenal. And then I realized he was just called up from Louisville, and I could have seen him pitch in person in AAA. Would have been just incredible, and I didn't do it. Now, other things like, say horse racing, for example. I have no interest in horses, no interest in horse racing. I've only been to Churchill Downs one time, and that was for a fundraiser for Noah's school. And have never been to the Derby, never wanted any part of Derby. As a matter of fact, my daughter always had a dance recital. She took ballet for 10 years, and she had dance recital every year in Charleston, West Virginia, on Derby Day. So almost every year we left and went to West Virginia for the recital and was just totally out of town, avoided the traffic, all the mess, all the craziness, everything of Derby Day. I've only been in Louisville like 2 or 3 times for Derby and all the time I've lived there. But that's a little different. I just don't have any interest in that. But other things that you don't do, there's parks and things that are around us all the time. I was fortunate enough to get to explore West Virginia and be able to travel all the way around that state and beyond and see most things. The New River Gorge Bridge, Seneca Rocks, all these beautiful, beautiful, both man-made and natural, really kind of wonders that are there. And I remember in my late 20s, I was out of town, I think it was up in Minnesota, telling someone about West Virginia and telling them about all the things that were there and how beautiful it was and everything, and it really made me miss it. And I was so fortunate that I was able to see all of those things around our state, but there's still a ton of things that I haven't seen, and I may never see now because I don't live there anymore, and I'm rarely even in the state. But then we come down here to Florida, and there's just these amazing experiences. That is just the beginning. And I'm waiting to see if my GoPro is going to recover. If not, I'm going to buy another one because I have to have a camera to capture this stuff. I want to share it with you guys, but it's really incredible. So if you have the opportunity to take advantage of things that are around you, especially with your children, to make memories with them, to see those special places or maybe special events, things that you otherwise wouldn't normally see. For example, if you didn't live there and you were willing to travel there to see it, but you haven't gone to see it even though you live there, go do it. Unless it's horse racing or something you're not interested in. But most things, especially when it comes to the state and national parks and the wonders and all the natural things and amazing things that are out there in the world, that there are to see, because it's really quite amazing. I guarantee you, every state in this country has something beautiful and unique to offer, and it's more than one thing. Believe me, I've traveled. I think I've been in 30 some states, 33, 35 states, something like that, and have memories from every one of them, and have hardly even tapped all the others that I've been to. But that was just an amazing experience. I'm glad I was able to capture it on film and share it with you guys. But don't take things for granted. Get out and do stuff.